to Mobile Agent TV. I am Michael Thorne of Remax Little Oak Realty in Langley, BC, and we're the co-host of Mobile Agent TV. I got so many things going here right now because we're trying this all new and finally working. My co-host, as always, is Dave Falkworth from Bridgewater, New Jersey. He's Remax Preferred Professionals in the Enviro Realty team. Dave, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really good. Very busy still. Getting ready to do some Christmas shopping, and things are going good.
Now we have, Remax wanted to put this show out. Chris Smith, curator, and Jimmy Mackin, they pushed out this show too as well, Dave, which was nice of them. And so we're going to have a bigger audience today than we have in past shows because what we're doing is a little bit different, and we're trying to push the envelope a little bit to show agents what's possible. So I usually ask you at the start of the show, a question. So I'll ask you a question. How did this all start? Where are we 3.5 years later? How do we get here?
We're way ahead of where we started. I can tell you that. I mean, thanks to you. And this thing has evolved tremendously, just unbelievably. And like we've said before, let's go a few shows, have a little fun, and get back to selling houses. And here we are, 3-some years later. And we're talking about some kind of unbelievable technology here. I don't know that we're totally there yet, but man, I tell you, this is some cool stuff.
Yeah, now I want to make sure it doesn't seem like Dave's audio's rolling through, so I apologize on that. We'll get that sorted out, and that's not on Dave. That is certainly on me. And so I apologize. If you guys want to let me know in... Oh, there you go. That's Dave watching it there. So Dave, you let me know if you guys got something. Can't hear Dave.
You're over here on Facebook Live on my iPhone. And
yeah.
I see myself.
Yeah, we got. We'll have to figure out what's going on with the audio, guys.
It's synced up on my iPhone.
Yeah, but they're not hearing you, Dave, and that's the big thing. They got to hear you, dude. And so that's really, really important. So we'll roll through all of this and see what we can do. I apologize, guys. We have the best person around to show us how to do this, and that's Luria Petrucci. Before we get to the show, and I'm going to figure this out and bear with us, we are amazingly enough streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter at the exact same time through Periscope. And that's what we're going to get into, guys. We're going to get into this opportunity that live broadcasting presents to everybody, and so it's super exciting. But before we get into the show, I want to let you know that one of the best webinars every single year is coming out. The social media, the good, the bad, and the ugly, put on by Valerie Garcia, and you can join that webinar. It's going to be December the 12th at 1 o'clock Eastern, and you can watch if you go to bit.ly/ my voice is echoing, Judy. I appreciate that. I will have to figure this out. I apologize. I've worked so hard on this to get this going, and it just hasn't gone well in the last couple hours here. So I apologize. Jesse Peters, you get it working. We're trying to do it right now. The good, the bad, the ugly is December the 12th. You can go to bit.ly/good, bad, ugly 2016. As well as I want to make so my audio is echoing. Thanks, Judy. Take my time and try to fix it. She says she's a sweetheart. Okay, so you're being able to try to fix that. That should be. Is that any better there? The echo seems to be gone now in the preview. So that's great, but I don't have audio coming in from the guests. And so let me...
Yes, you're good on the echo.
I'm good on the echo. We got that one fixed. Awesome.
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you fixed, but I can hear you, Dave. But the problem is they can't hear you. And so that's really where the issue lies in the capture. So I'm going to capture one more audio here for you guys. I'll delete this out, delete this shot, and add a new shot in here. I'm doing this live, guys. The audio is fixed. Thanks, Judy. We're making progress. This is exciting.
Tie the two together. Did you tie the video and the audio together?
Yeah, I did. And I shut them off on lower sections audio, monitor, cursor off. Rolling at the CPU guy.
I'm actually coming through on Facebook Live.
Oh, they can hear you.
Yeah. So Dave, can you talk?
I can talk. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Check.
We have to just wait for the delay to go by. And then we'll be good to go. Bear with us, guys. This I promise will be worth it. We've got the best guest in the industry to talk about this stuff. So just bear with us, and we'll get this in. If people can continue to give us updates, I appreciate that. No, both Dave and her are inaudible.
Dave and I are coming in a lot lower than you are.
Okay.
So if you pipe that up a little bit.
Yeah. I will do that. I'll push you guys over, and you guys are getting it, but the levels are low. All right, so that's easy enough to fix. Audio mixer. I'll crank you guys up. I'll pull me down, way down, and then I'll boost the output all the way up. And go ahead, Luria, and give me a test.
Hello, I'm testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
I think that might be a little bit better. I'll continue to pull myself down and roll you guys up as light as I can, and we'll be good. I think we should be pretty close there. You think so?
Do you have them rolling really loud?
No, I have the earbud. The sound. The sound is actually coming through the computer, and I can switch that back out to and look at the.
It sounds like we're coming in from the background. So from your earbuds or something like that.
Okay, Wirecast detected feedback. So yeah, you might be. You know what? Let me just switch for argument's sake here, guys. Let's put the microphone on all sides, and we'll do it like this. And I apologize, but that's the way we'll do it. So, Luria, go ahead and just talk right there, and we'll go from there.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. How are you guys? This is the fun part of live.
It is the fun part of live. So I think that's going to be better. I'm going to go back to the window mixer here and make sure that we've got the audio. We'll roll that back up and get that better to where it is. We'll roll that down. And we should be kind of okay here. We're going to do this audio the other way. And I promise you guys all, we're going to bring you a ton of value right now. So the audio might not be as good as we want it to be, and friends that follow the show. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get the show. We're going to bring you a ton of value. I promise you. I know for sure that we are on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter all at the same time. So that's the big win. That's one of the wins we want to take away for you guys. And we're going to get into talking about live streaming. But I do want to make one big announcement on behalf of Jesse Peters and myself. We have confirmed 3 new video boot camps that are coming out throughout North America. And this is the first time we've talked about it openly and shared the dates. We're going to be in Seattle, July the 12th and 13th. We're going to be in Ottawa on April the 10th and 11th, and in Toronto, April 12th and 13th. So there you go. So guys, I'm going to be monitoring Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, and we're talking about broadcasting live and the opportunities that live broadcasting presents agents in 2017. I think it's going to be on the forefront of marketing opportunities. And as always, we read out our guests' 160 Twitter bio. And Dave, we were going to talk about the origins of the show, but we got so much good stuff. A lot of the people know how we came about 3.5 years later. Here we go. We always read out our guest's 160 Twitter bio, and you can get her on Twitter at Luria Petrucci. But by me saying that, that doesn't help you because I don't know how to spell that. I wasn't sure about that, but here's how you spell it: Luria, Luria. Last name Petrucci, Petrucci, and she's one of the very first guests we've had on the show that has a verified Twitter account because she's such a big deal, and she's the perfect person to have come on the show and talk about it. So, Luria, welcome to the show. Tell us, we normally start off the show by asking people their history in the real estate space. What's your history in the live streaming space?
Yes, thank you, because I've bought a house before. So I actually started, I was one of the early pioneers, if you will, in the podcasting space, video podcasting. Back in 2005, I was one of the first people to have a podcast that it was a tech podcast when Apple had their first video iPod available. That was before the iPhone even existed. So I had an early start, and I've had an audience ever since then. And I've loved my experience online with an amazing community. In 2007, I got heavy into the live streaming space. Did you know it even existed back then? So even from a mobile perspective, the first mobile live streaming app was available in 2007. It was called Quick. It was like Periscope. That's the most similar connection that you can make, but it failed because people didn't have enough of these phones. The data connection wasn't there, where it needed to be. It wasn't as accessible as it is now. So it's exciting to see from that history where we are now and where we're going in 2017. It's an incredible space.
Yeah, and I want to let people know, like, the quality of video that you see on my side and my motion versus what we're doing is we're pulling in video through a program called Zoom. And we're going to look at some ways between now and when the show comes back on the air in January. We're going to have 6 weeks off here to recruit that. We're going to fix that. But Luria, you and David, you guys are on air every single day. And if anyone wants to go and check out their stuff on livestreamingpros.com as well as on their Facebook page, you guys are on air every single day producing amazing quality content. What we're seeing right now is what people are going to see from you is a choppier image. But you guys are producing amazing stuff, and that's really where we want to go. But you guys are the best in the industry when it comes to the production.
Well, thank you so much for that. Sorry about the choppiness, but so live streaming is an interesting space. There are a lot of different levels of that, right? So what we produce on a daily basis is level 4, and I can go through that. But before I go through the 4 levels, I want to make sure that everybody understands. Michael has been just amazing. He's been really trying to up the game with live video for you, the viewers, and provide a really quality stream, which is one of the things that I hope we talk about today is that leveling up situation, and why it's important and why it's good. Now, it comes with challenges, absolutely, right? But that's what we're here for. And you have some unique situations going on that, unfortunately we couldn't come out there, and you're a little far away for us, but you have some unique situations, but sometimes these things happen in live. And even if you're only doing mobile broadcasting from your phone, these things can happen. So you just kind of got to roll with it, and you got to have fun with live video. And as you pointed out, community is incredible. And that's what you're building, is a community that is there for you, who trusts you, who loves you, and who will do anything for you. But anyway, so 4 levels. Great job just getting everything up and running. I know it's not perfect, and I know you're freaking out inside.
No, but Luria, let me just cut you off right now, because if you go to livestreamingpros.com/quiz, you can take it, and I took the quiz. And Dave and I have been live streaming through Google Hangouts primarily now for the last 3.5 years, and I'm a level 3. And my goal is to get to level 4. And this learning curve, Luria, that I've just been on in the last 2-3 weeks trying to push this particular episode out, it is an effort to get to 4. So you're right, there is a process, and there are 2 levels before we get here, which is called the desktop level. So I just want to let people know that I'm not asking people to go out and start where Luria and the live streaming pros are, and I'm not certainly people want to start out and do what Dave and I have been doing for the last 3.5 years and learn all the things that we've learned. You start at a completely different place, and this is where I see most of the agents right now starting is level 1. And go ahead and you can tell people about what level 1 is.
Yeah, so level 1 is going live from your phone. You don't have to have anything in order to go live from your phone. It's completely free. You already have a phone. Unless you're using a flip phone, you can do it, right? So that is level one, and that's what's most important, that you just get started somewhere, right? Level two is using your phone, but adding a couple of pieces of gear like a video stabilizer, a microphone, a light to your phone, so that you get a little bit more professionalism. And in the real estate space, I will point out level two is really, really important. So you can get a mobile kit for a couple $100s, but one of the things that we'll probably talk about is how you use live video in the real estate business. And as an agent, you, like, one of the options is to do home tours or business tours, right? Property tours. And if you do it from your mobile phone only, you're going to get a lesser quality video out of that, or live stream out of that. So having a wide angle lens on your phone is going to give you so much better quality live streams while you're taking people through homes and giving them a preview of what they might be interested in buying. So that's a really important level for you to be at, but you can start at level one. Level three is going live from the desktop computer using a software like OBS or Wirecast, which is what Michael is doing. And level four is using a dedicated machine that is built to do one thing really, really well. It's TV quality production. And it's what, we use, it's what CNN uses. It's what, it's a dedicated machine, right? So a bit of a higher cost, but well worth it if you're going to do it often.
Yeah, and so on that note, Luria, like I see a lot of people. I keep bringing the microphone in because I think I need it. But see, a lot of people, even when they get to the desktop place where we are right where I am right now, a lot of the issues that I've had, they won't have, because I really think for opportunities for agents are to do monthly market updates, which would just be them and the audience. You wouldn't have to worry about, like, my audio was a piece of cake to do. My video was a piece of cake to do, and producing it just one person out is easy. It's bringing in video and audio from somewhere else where it gets a little bit more difficult. I see agents, Dave, here's an example, and I'll bring Dave on the show because we haven't seen him yet. Dave, how you doing, buddy? Dave, have you and Vanessa ever hosted, like those first-time home buyer seminars or, investment property type seminars? Did you ever host any of those, Dave, over the years?
Absolutely, we did. We have. We've got to bring in a mortgage guy. We actually did a virtual walkthrough a home buying process. We advertised it, brought a bunch of potential buyers together. We had a mortgage person, we had us, we had the attorney, and we did a virtual walkthrough of how to buy a house for a first-time home buyer. We did that live at an office space that we had.
Yeah, and so I see an opportunity for live streaming to be this. I think there's a lot of buyers and sellers out there that don't want to sort of walk into a room, acknowledge that they're a potential buyer or potential seller in the wine in their hand. So I think a lot of agents have an opportunity to sit down like I am next to the mortgage broker to do a show once a month that says, here's how you go ahead and buy a house, to do a stream, which is really, like, all the headaches that we've been through. I want to say it again, because the amazing part now is we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on Twitter at the same time. And so now you could bring content to the viewer where they want to see it, and you don't have to rent a space for it. They're able to stay at home. I just think the world has changed a little bit, Luria. Has culture changed to a point where we want to consume content when we, at home on the couch? And I think that's changed everything. And I think that's where the huge opportunity where live streaming exists is you can bring the content to the viewer.
Yeah, absolutely. Bringing the content to the viewer wherever, whenever they want. Whenever in live streaming, it's when you broadcast and they'll be there for you. So a couple of things here. And the culture absolutely has changed. I think the most important thing you have to realize about live streaming is what people want from other human beings, other companies, the people they hire, the people they work with. It bleeds into every part of life. We want a human connection. We've always wanted a human connection. However, now, in this day and age, we actually have the ability to demand it as consumers. So when I am looking to hire somebody or work with somebody, I am going to look for somebody I know, like, and trust, right? That's always been the thing. However, live stream gives you a super easy, super powerful connection to build that know, like, and trust. And in the real estate business specifically, this is where you have a chance to win, which is, from my perspective, I'm going to speak from my perspective, which is the homeowner or the potential homeowner. When I was buying a house, I had a very, let's say, skeptical view of real estate agents, right? So, and I am not alone in this, right? Like, there is a huge amount of people. There are a huge amount of people out there who look at real estate agents with an amount of skepticism. Yes, we trust, but we wonder if everything that you're showing me is to push me into a higher level, budget, into something that I'm not ready for. There is an amount of skepticism, and you have to be aware of that from the consumer real estate agent relationship. And this is where live streaming has the ability to going into live video. And it's what you have to understand that will make live video super powerful for your business. So if you can take everything that I just said, if that's the only thing you listen to today, that is the most important piece, right? So make sure that everything you're doing on live video is showing people that you care about them, about, you're not a shark, right? You're not trying to push them somewhere that they're not ready to go. And you'll win.
And I agree. And here's the magical part about live streaming. And this is the next question I want to ask you, is that I'm reading the comments right now. And Jesse Peters, you're right. Did I say July 12th? Let me see. Let me pull up the dates. July 12th and 13th in Seattle. It's not correct. It's January 12th and 13th in Seattle. And here's the thing that the next question I want to ask is just that part of it. And thank you, Judy. I appreciate it. You're an amazing human being. Thank you for the support. I know that you know that I want this to be perfect, and you know that I care so much how it puts out. So I appreciate that comment. Luria, Dave and I, for the last 3.5 years, have been saying that there's no better piece of marketing content that exists in the world today than video. Video has changed our industry and changed dramatically different industries. So the question is, live streaming is video. Here's the 5 things you need to know about buying a home in Bridgewater, New Jersey is a 4-minute video. Why is live video such a different opportunity than just video presents for agents? Why is that such a different opportunity? Why is live different?
So live has this just in the back of people's minds when they connect to you on live video versus video, recorded video. They automatically know, without thinking about it, that whatever you're saying or doing is real. That is what live video has to offer. And it's that connection that will happen so much quicker. With video, you may get them to like you, to know, like, and trust you on that first video, but it may take a few videos. With live video, there is no doubt in their mind when they're watching a live video that you are an expert at what you're talking about, as long as you're talking about something right?
Yeah.
And there's this connection that says, okay, they haven't edited this. They're not producing this. They're not faking this. This is raw. This is real. This is coming straight from their heart. And that, as a human being, is what I connect to. So that's why live video is so much more powerful than video in that realm, right? Video absolutely has its place. And I always encourage my clients to use video as well as live video, but live video has that super strong connection, and it's an immediacy, and it's that conversation that can happen. With a recorded video, yes, you can put a recorded video out there, you can get a bunch of views, you can get comments. However, you can't answer those comments right then and there. They can't get their questions answered, and people are impatient. I want my question answered now. So that's another reason that live is so powerful.
Michael, I don't know if I had chime in here, but that's the takeaway right there. That's the difference between video, which we've been talking about all along, and live video. When you, from our perspective, the ones doing the video,
yeah,
you can do a teleprompter, you know, it's all scripted, you say what you got to say, but when you do live, you better know what you're talking about. You can't slip. Well, you could, but you know, you're out there, you're exposed, and that's really the way they're going to trust and like you even more, because you're exposed. Like here I am, I'm just talking I'm sitting around having a glass of wine or a cup of coffee with you, and I'm talking, and that you're going to develop. That's as close to you're going to get as belly to belly as you can get without being belly to belly.
And Dave, I agree. And here's the thing too, about the opportunities that live video presents. And when I see a lot of agents, when Jesse and I go and teach video boot camps, and we're teaching about the value of video, we see a lot of people sort of start with the live first. And I always like, you're willing to go live, but you're not willing to go in front of a camera and record. And I just think it's a different nature. But I think here's one of the things too as well. I think people are intimidated with watching themselves back. They're critical about it. Live is just gone. You can't pull it back, which I think is a huge benefit. But I think it's all in that edit. It's you know, Dave, 3.5 years we've been doing this show. This is show episode 114, an hour an episode. That's 114 hours of content that you and I and amazing guests in this industry have produced. And we wouldn't do it if after every show we had to sit down and edit that video. In fact, you know what? You know, I look back at the beginning of the show and I really wanted the show to go really, really well. And I think the content is good and you want to produce it. At the beginning of the show, there's some problems. And I think you would never put this video out and record it, but I think there's some honesty that I can attribute to the people watching the show that are, you know, I'm asking them to embrace live video because I think it's a whole lot of value. But I'm embracing it now too. I'm going through the same obstacles and the same learning process that other people might go to. So I think one of the advantages, Luria, is there is no edit. There is edit, there's production, but you don't have to sit around afterwards and make it this big thing. And like you said, you know, some sort of a selfie stick. You know, the DJI Osmo Mobile holds it and tracks your face, which is a broadcast live. Just Peter uses it. A lot of other agents are using it. There's an advantage there to just go and start creating content and not get overwhelmed by all the post-production that exists.
Right. You never know what Dave's going to say.
They love that anticipation. We all love that anticipation of what's going to happen. And yeah, that the ability to just kind of go with the flow. And you shouldn't feel so much pressure, right? With live video, a lot of people feel a lot of pressure. They're very scared to go live, which is understandable. However, audiences are very forgiving of technical issues or of this or that, of you not being perfect. They actually want you not to be perfect because then you're like them. Hey, they're not perfect, right?
Yeah.
So we're all not perfect together.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I want to get into maybe a little like what you think are some of the opportunities, but you know, there's some of these aha moments that happen. Dave and I have them when we go out to conferences, and we have them on the show when we have great guests come on, and somebody says something that's kind of like this aha. You know, I jumped on Periscope, right? We were down in the States, and we got it earlier because I guess our IP addresses and our phones were in the States. And when I started watching yours and David's content, one of the things that really struck me immediately was just the mindset, and I'm not saying the execution, but I'm talking about the mindset of the countdown clock. You know, this idea that when you start to go live, unless, you know, it takes a while for people to get notified in their Facebook feed. It takes a little bit of people to notify it maybe through their YouTube announcements or on Periscope to get into that. This idea of letting people gather and then bringing them content is a lot more than just the execution of the countdown clock. Luria, maybe talk to the idea of how this is just the whole way we create video changes because it's live and the opportunities to sort of create that anticipation.
Yeah, so before I answer that specifically, let me back up a little bit because I think that leads directly into that. The mistake that most people make with live is that they go into live without any understanding of what makes it great or what the strategies are behind it. And I've been doing this for a decade, so there are tried and true methods. There are things that make it work. There are things that make it not work, right? And so live is such a buzzword right now that people are just jumping in and then failing, not seeing results, and getting out. And so the reason that we have, let me keep with strategy here for a second. So your strategy that you need to be focusing on is a three-parter. One, having consistency. You need to have a consistent show, just like Michael does, right? Michael and Dave are doing a consistent show constantly every week, right? And so you have this consistency that the audience that can say, hey, I know that you're going to be live at Monday at 10 a.m. and I'm going to join you. They can put it on their calendars. They can be there. You show trust, you show reliability by showing up every week at 10 a.m. and they show trust given to you by showing up there, right? So there's back and forth that happens with this consistent show. And so that's your part one of your strategy. And then part two is your random streams. So in addition to your consistent show, you go live randomly, have some fun, show your personal life, show your dog, your new puppy that you got, whatever. This is your time to build that relationship and show the human side of you. And then part three is the afterlife of your live video, is your repurposing of the content, right? So in terms of your question with the countdown timer, why that is implemented, that goes along with that part one strategy, that consistent show. What happens with live video is that people don't show up, like you kind of alluded to. People don't show up right away. People need time to be able to get the notification, to be able to stop doing what they're doing, to be able to watch it. Facebook takes time to alert you that there's a live show going on. So that 10-minute countdown is for us to do a couple of things. One, it's to connect with the audience. This is our time to just hang, to be casual and get to know people. And this is before we do a 10-minute before the top of the hour when we go live, when our show is live. And so then that 10 minutes also gives us a chance to fix any tech issues which can come up. So and then it also gives us a chance to just kind of everybody get settled in and then have 10 minutes into the stream, because people will not come, like your peak is going to happen around the 20-minute mark. So you're still going to see people coming in even when you start your show, after 10 minutes of being live, people are still going to be coming in, and you're going to see that peak happen around 20 minutes. So there's a lot of strategy, and there's a lot of reasons why we do everything that we do and why we teach what we teach, because this stuff works.
Yeah, and you know what? And I want to get into the opportunities and talk about what you guys are teaching, because I believe, and there's a lot of deserved praise that's going to come yours and David's way, and then also towards Jason, because I want to talk about Joycaster a little bit too as well, or Switchboard. Is that in the training that I've taken from you guys? There's this idea. There's the comment that you made, or that's in there. That's like, once you've got your phone and you've ordered some other equipment, don't wait for it to come. Just get going and sort of and execute against it. And I think one of the things that's exciting and also nervous for me is if I sat around here and with Dave and we've tried to fiddle stuff out, and gosh knows over 115 episodes or 14 episodes, Dave, you and I have had our tech issues, but we've also had really great shows. And show 113 was such a distant better show than show 12 was. And so I'm going to fail in the eyes of my audience, or struggle in the eyes of the audience, knowing that the next show is going to be better and better and better. And whether it's live streaming, everyone watching and Luria and Dave, or whether it's CMAs or evaluations, Dave, and I'll throw this question to you, Dave, is, given all that information, is the only way to do it is to get out there to do something, to learn from it, to improve and get better, because you and I didn't have a clue what we were doing episode 1. We didn't know what we were doing, Dave. We're just doing this.
Nobody ever learned anything by having total success 100% of the time. You don't learn crap that way.
Yeah.
You got to fall on your face and go, wow, okay, that's not a way to do it. And like you said, certainly, we've had our little issues. I don't think anything too. We're starting to get into a realm now, I think, where we're starting to have some little bigger issues because we're going bigger. I mean, this to me is, to broadcast across all of these platforms, I think it's just amazing. It's like, who would ever believe that? Oh, Periscope came on. Wow. What did I say about it? I thought it was a big time suck.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
Time suck. That here we are. And like we've said from day one, if you as a real estate agent, don't get involved in some form of this stuff. Just do like what Luria said. Just start with your phone. Start doing one thing. You are going to be you're already behind if you're not at that point. But just as time goes on, you're going to be further and further behind. And it's only a matter of time before you will become irrelevant.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
Sorry, Luria, you want to chime in there?
Real estate business in the world. It's just the way it is. It's that's the only reason I'm taking care of myself, because I want to see what's going to happen.
No, I totally agree with Dave. Like, that's 2017. Everybody is going to be jumping onto this, right? Like, you think everybody's jumping on right now?
Yeah.
It's a very small percentage of people who are doing it, and you have, like, I mean, we're sitting here talking about this, right? And you have the opportunity right here and now to do it, and to do it well. Here's the thing, Facebook. Let's just talk Facebook alone, not even worry about the rest.
Yep.
Facebook is going to be putting so much money, time, and effort into their platform over the next year that what they want to become the TV station, right? They want you to watch all of your content on this thing all the time, every day. And they want to leave the TV behind. They will also have that content available on the TV, but this is where they're focusing, the desktop, the TV versions of Facebook. They are making it possible to have high quality production, right? Periscope does that as well now, but that is their goal, is to be the TV. So that means professionalism is going to be key in terms of moving your business forward and stepping out beyond your competitors, which is why Michael's doing this, right? Why he's pushing forward. And you're going to, yes, you may have some issues along the way, which is why we're here.
Yeah.
But that's not, you can't be afraid of the issues. Like Dave was saying, you have to push beyond those. You have to have some issues in order to find the success. And so if you can mix the human element of what live video offers with the professionalism of where it's going and be ahead of that curve in this business, that is going to do a huge amount for your brand. Because, I think, God, I get so excited about live video and the real estate market because there's so much darn potential here. I don't know if I can say.
Yeah, no, you can say darn. You can say darn, I think. We always used to say we're on YouTube, so we're fine with that sort of language, but we're also now on Facebook right now, so I don't know if Mark has different rules or whatnot. But no, I agree. I agree that the opportunities, like when I think about real estate, I think about, a monthly market update, a monthly buyer's seminar, a monthly seller seminar, interviewing the mayor, like all that stuff, to sit down in like a little set like this, like I have here, and like forget all the technical difficulties. Like right now, you're Dave through the microphone, through the speakers of the computer, which sucks because I thought I had it figured out. and I didn't, but just this with you in the camera and the audio, that's a piece of cake. Broadcasting to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at the same time is a piece of cake. But I agree with you, Luria and Dave. The opportunities for this type of content consistently in your marketplace, knowing that the other people aren't going to do it until it's probably too late, is phenomenal. So let's talk about the thing that sort of made me really excited. And I said why I was willing to switch from, or why Dave and I were willing to switch from doing as Google Hangout and move to an OBS now with Wirecast, was to get in front of the eyes and the ears of the consumers. And I agree with you, Luria, you're right. The times has changed, and Facebook is getting the eyes that the television station used to get. And if we are in the marketing business, and I say this all the time, as realtors, we're in the marketing business for two things. We market us to the potential consumer, to develop the know, like, and trust with Luria, that, like she said, like, she wants to know who we are. That's how we market ourselves. And number two, we market properties. And so, but marketing, the foundation of marketing is to be in front of the people, and in front of the eyes and the ears of the potential consumer. And we have to realize that it has changed. Like you said, you hold up a cell phone and that's where it's going to be. And now we have the tools as individual agents to go directly to the consumer in this medium, to have a show on the air where we would have to, go to the newspaper or go to the local TV station to get a little story done about us. Now we can go directly to the consumer, which is phenomenal. The other thing too, as well, the old side note of creating content like this, is you can record the quality broadcast before it goes out. And so you are able to record this audio, which we do. We'll pull the audio separate from the video, and that will go out as a podcast on iTunes, which is where the vast majority of listeners or viewers for Mobile Agent TV is in the recorded thing, and so you could repurpose the content there. But I would quickly want to talk, Luria, about Joycaster and about you and David, and about the type of people that are successful and that I'm so proud to sort of say good things about when it comes to the industry. The guys at DocuSign, the guys at BombBomb for sure feel that way. Lori, you and David have been absolutely phenomenal helping me through this, and I'm going to get in my car and drive down. I think you guys are near the Portland-Seattle or Washington border, and make sure that we get this straightened out. And I will take more training from you, and I have paid that through training. And Dave, you and I'm going to switch to you, and I will ask you to answer the question. In 3.5 years, and all the opportunities that we've been offered for affiliate links, and you're on the screen right now, we have not taken a dime from anybody, nor will we ever take a dime from anybody, because it changes the authenticity of what we have, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, that's been our thing since day one, and that's just the way it is. I'm sure that, we've already had our opportunities, but that's not why we're here.
Yeah, that's why we're here. So I do want to talk about the training opportunities that Luria and Dave offer, and you guys, the training is phenomenal. It'll take you from A to B in a heartbeat, and we're going to go to C and D too as well with their training. And the cost of the training is I won't.
Michael, let me interject
real
quick. When you say Luria and Michael, you're not talking about L'Oreal and David. You're not talking about me.
No, I'm talking about David Foster.
So the audience understands.
Yes. If you watch, you're right.
I got my own connection back here.
This is so great. David and Luria.
That's cute, by the way, but that's a.
Luria, we had a connection before this, but okay. No, yeah.
You never know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, no. So no, yeah. So Luria and David are live streaming pros, and his name is David Foster, and not the Canadian amazing musical producer David Foster. More of a bearded David Foster, and he's interesting right now. He's in Washington or New York State. Working with the American Chopper, the American Chopper Boys. And they're doing live streaming and whatnot.
You're in Orange County working with those guys?
He's in Orange County right now working with the American
Orange County, New York. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so that's the sort of stuff we're dealing with. So he's out there right now, and David has been phenomenal and helping me get started. But so one other person's been phenomenal, and it really comes down to, and then we'll get back to the training because we've already eaten up an hour of Luria's time, but we do want to make sure.
I want to say before you try and wrap all this up, I want to make sure that we talk about quickly, but talk about the reason or the ways that people can use this. Like, I don't want people to walk away from this thinking, well, what the heck do I say, right?
Yeah,
So,
no. We're going to come. We'll definitely come back to that. I definitely come back. I'm in my gushy appreciation stage right now. So Jason from Switchboard Live is the technology that allows us to broadcast to multiple places. Okay, so really what's happening right now is I'm using a platform called Wirecast, and I can send that Wirecast any place. I can send it to Facebook, I can send it to YouTube, I can send it to Periscope or a million different platforms. But the moment I send it to more than one place, it puts a whole lot of draw on my computer, even though I've got a brand new Mac. That's the reason, one of the reasons why Dave and Luria are choppy, is because I'm running around 90% of my computer's ability to compute. And so what Switchboard allows you to do is to send one feed to Switchboard, and then from Switchboard, you can choose where it goes. So I'm sending out one feed right now to a platform called Switchboard. And then I told Switchboard to send it to Mobile Agent TV on YouTube, to Mobile Agent TV on Facebook, and to Mobile Agent TV on Periscope. And that's how it's being divvied out. And the benefit of doing that is that they do the heavy lifting when it comes to the technology and to the CPU usage and how it goes out. And so once it's at
and to the internet connection is a really important part of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you only have so much bandwidth. Exactly, Luria. So you only have so much bandwidth going up, so you can send it out quality feed to one place, and then it can go out to multiple places. And so it's an amazing platform. David did an amazing, not our David Foster. David Foster did an amazing a session on it, and you can find that on their Facebook page, and also I think on their YouTube channel too as well, talking about the platform. But Jason from Joycaster, who I reached out and asked him a couple of questions, kept on saying, do you want more help? Do you want more help? Do you want more help? To a point where it was like overwhelming, and the same thing happened, Luria, with you and David. Joycaster, not only is it a phenomenal product, but the people there that are building it are amazing, and that seems to happen, David Falkware, more and more and more, because in this transparent world where we get to know the owners of these companies, and this is about our real estate businesses too. It's amazing how many good people are being successful because of the nature of their character, and that's for sure the way Luria is, and with Jason and with David Foster are too as well. And we're going to, once we get this, we're going to take the Christmas off, and I'm going to keep my head down, making sure that we get this streamed perfectly. We're going to bring Jason on and do an episode about Joycaster, because Joycaster, or now called Switchboard, has some big announcements coming in the new year. And so we want to come in and showcase what they're doing. But Luria, and I'll ask you too as well, your experience with Joycaster, now called Switchboard, is sort of the same thing, I would imagine, just amazing human beings with a phenomenal product.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the guys from Switchboard. They are exactly as you described. They're just super great guys, helpful, and what they're, you mentioned some announcements coming up. What they're working on behind the scenes is going to take live streaming to the next level. It's going to make it a whole lot easier for us broadcasters, and they're providing a service, and they're really focusing in on content providers like ourselves to provide the audience with a great stream from a technical perspective. So I love what they're doing. We use them daily for our broadcasts to go out to 4 different places right now.
But I think one of the things too as well, in a 2016 world, or almost 2017, is we have to be willing to bring the content to where the consumer wants it to consume it. So right now we have viewers on Periscope, and I can see we've got viewers on Facebook and on YouTube. Judy, I'll get to your question in 1 second. Beautiful thing about live broadcasting is we have to bring it to where they want to go. I think if you're under the impression that if I put it on ABC television that the consumer will be forced to come to me, I think, Luria, am I right to saying that those days might be gone where they're forced to come to you?
Yeah, it's been going for a while, to be honest.
Yeah.
People are demanding what they want and where they want it, and there's so much content online that if you don't give it to them where they want it, they're just going to go find somebody else, right? So, but I will say there's a caveat here. So, yes, you need to push it out as many places as you can. You need to be where the audience is. However, there is a danger of starting that too soon. So the worst thing that you can do for yourself and for your audience is to be in too many places and drive yourself absolutely batty.
Yeah.
Trying to keep up with it. So only do this when you can keep up with it. And so you start with one platform, right? And as much as I love Joycaster, it is a next level situation.
Yep.
Do not try and go too far too soon, right? And Michael, I'm going to call you out on this because we've talked about it. You tried to go too far too quickly, I think.
Yeah.
With your, from a technical perspective, and that is a danger, right? So you want to make sure, unless you have somebody walking you through step by step, you can't, or setting it up for you. You need to be careful about moving too quickly. And so the worst thing you can do is be on all these different platforms and not talk to the audience where they are, right? So if I'm on YouTube and as a viewer and I'm asking questions, I'm engaged with this conversation that's happening, and you're only talking to and responding to questions over on Facebook, I feel left out and I will never be back. Yeah. So you got to be aware of that and not take it too far too quickly.
No, I absolutely totally agree, and I think one of the and you did call me out on it, and it was phenomenal advice. You were amazing, and talking to me late one night on Facebook Messenger, going back and forth, and we're trying to figure out the obstacles, and I was trying to test a final product, with all the sound and all the different layers, because I can see the layers in front of me, and maybe I'll show a screencast of what I'm looking at. And I was trying to find out why it wasn't working really well as an end product. And you said, no, start back. Simple. Do one camera with one intro, then one camera with an intro with a lower third, and then you have to build on it and build on it, so that when you do hit the wall, you'll know exactly where the obstacle lies. I had no clue where the obstacle lies. I kind of know now where the obstacle lies. In fact, I do know where the obstacle lies now. It's the moment you add more video. By pulling in video, it's just as extra demand on a CPU. If this was just me doing a buyer seminar with my two amazing business partners, it would be not a piece of cake, but it would be a lot less difficult than this was. So now I do know, based on Luria's advice, where the issue lies. And that's where it comes from, having a coach like yourself and David, not David Foster, and I'll just call him Foster. I'll call him Beardy Foster. And so you're right. I mean, a lot of the advice that I got from you, and here's another thing that's amazing, because it does come down to the content, and I want to get into that next. And I think out there, you want it to be amazing, and you kind of have to walk yourself back and make sure it's a little bit more simple than that. You did want to talk about Luria, and I want you to talk about too as well. Is I think that one of the huge things is, okay, great, live streaming is great, people are consuming it, it's going to work. Oh, this is where I was going to go to. I lost my train of thought, but I got it back. When you watch the videos at Live Streaming Pros, when you go and watch their content, take one of their little Facebook things or whatever it is, you realize instantly that the content is so good and it's so engaging, but you don't know what part of the recipe makes it so. And I think that's what a lot of agents struggle with. They see something that's well produced and they think, is it audio? Is it the lighting? Is it just the content? And I think it has a lot more to do with the content. The amazing thing is you and Foster know why the content is good. You're able to help me, and you're going to be able to help amazing other agents to really understand what you guys are doing. What are the elements that go into making a great show? Because it's just not the fact that you've got an amazing, real, actual exposed brick wall behind you. And you could talk about what that is, but it's all those elements. So talk about maybe the expertise that you guys have learned over 10 years. What makes a great stream, and then maybe some advice for agents where you think the content or what they should be using that's going to be a game changer for them.
So the prettiness of a polished video is absolutely not necessary, right? Like you have to provide amazing value. And so yes, like, we teach you how to do this kind of thing under $200 in terms of a set, right? This is a fake brick wall.
Yeah, I knew it was, but no one else knew until you told anyone else that that's a hanging piece of canvas behind
I
you.
asked her when I first saw her, I said, "Oh, that's a cool brick wall back there."
I think there's videos on Live Streaming Pros, Luria, that teaches you how to build a set for $200.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So we did a workshop on, opening up the curtains behind it, like how we build all this stuff, right? So there are easy ways and simple and cost-effective ways of making it look pretty. But that is not the most important. The most important is what you're saying. And a lot of people get hung up on this one thing, which is, what do I get on and talk about? And it's overwhelming at first. And then once you get into it, and once you get used to like how to provide this valuable piece of content, it gets really super simple. So what I want you to start with is thinking about your audience, right? What do they want? So if you're selling homes to first-time home buyers, then you could do a weekly show. I talked about having that consistent weekly show, right? You could talk about first-time buying tips. What do I need to know? This is a great way to attract new clients who have never bought before, is by building this know, like, and trust, right? So look at the whole process. As an agent, all of the ins and outs. You've been doing this for years. It's second nature to you. As a buyer, I know diddly squat about this stuff. So walk me through every step of the process. Sit down with a pen and paper if you have to, or Google Doc or whatever works for you, and write down every step that you go through every single day, or I don't know if you do deals every single day, but like every deal, what does that look like from step one to the end goal, right? And make like that is how many steps, Dave? How many steps go into that?
Hundreds.
Yes. You have a year's worth of content, right?
First meeting, mortgage pre-approval, inspections. You're gonna do a show on every one of those subjects. It's probably 40 different subjects right off the bat.
Totally. So, and then take them beyond the buying process. Talk about owning a home, maintenance. I know when I had bought a home, maintenance was a completely like, oh crap, now I have to maintain this. So do I do it myself? Do I hire? Get guests on who can fill in these blanks of knowledge for buyers. If you're dealing in the commercial real estate side of things, you're dealing with people, restaurant owners, you're dealing with a chef who has had a lifelong dream of owning, a restaurant. Well, that is what they are focused on. So let your clients be focused on what they do best and fill in those gaps. That's where you come in. And so, you do that on a daily basis with your clients in person. Do that same thing online for a wider range of clients, right? And I would even say, when tax time comes along, get some guests on, or you yourself, if you know it well enough, talk about tax, the real estate tax stuff. I had no idea what to do with any of that. And I would have gladly paid somebody to deal with it for me. Had I been building this relationship online, I could have watched a video that would explain it. That way I felt a little bit in control. And I'm glad to hand off my money to somebody who'll do it well, right? So all of these little pieces, and then from out and about kind of stream to open houses, of course. Open houses, the bigger the sale, of course, the more you can get from these. But any open houses, house tours where you actually answer question. So like, is this has the roof been replaced? All of these different questions that come up when people are looking at a tour or of a house. You can answer those live through live video. Neighborhood tours are a great one. So don't just focus on the house itself. You are telling a story. You do this already if you're good at what you do. You're telling a story, you're capturing an environment, a feel. So do this with the neighborhood. Find a local business okay, if I'm buying this house or if I'm gonna, open this restaurant, what am I gonna do in that neighborhood? Who are my peers? Who are my, what if I'm buying a house? Is there a little coffee shop that's like romantic that in my head, I'm like, oh, well, I'll go work at the coffee shop, right? Like these are the things that you need to find and do tours, interviews with the coffee shop owner, local events, anything behind the scenes works spectacularly. If you can go behind the scenes of whatever, even your business, that works really well. So you could actually do some videos on what it takes to be a real estate agent. Like this is stuff even clients want to know just because it's fascinating. So testimonials, industry news, like these are all things that can feed content that's going to be super valuable. And so one place to start is search YouTube, Facebook, Google, build some searches. And as you type in a search term, you're going to see a pop down list of 10 options, 10 of the most popular search terms, and use that to kind of focus in on what your audience is already looking for.
Yeah, and the thing that you mentioned, Luria, and I agree with you, the opportunities to walk a first-time home buyer through that process, the reality of that content and what we do as agents, if I'm not ready to be a first-time home buyer, I'm not watching your show. Then once I've purchased a home, I'm not watching your show. So it's almost to a point where you're going to be able to do that starting again, like every 4 months, start that process again, or every 6 months, start from point one again, because you're going to capture 100 new people in your marketplace, first-time home buyers that weren't ready to learn that 6 months ago, that are ready to learn that now, and you must have that too as well. Once people are up and going on live streaming, they need to go back to the basics to sort of go through it again, because you guys are on the air every day creating content. But there must be that sort of reminder of content that already exists, right? To go through it and recycle it again.
You can't say the same thing enough. It's like, this is a fear. If somebody says, oh, well, I said that once. Well, yeah. I guarantee you maybe 1 or 2 people will hear it again, but you're going to be speaking to an entirely new audience. So get used to repeating yourself a lot.
Yeah. And Dave, on that note,
all the time on this show.
Well, yeah.
I repeat myself all the time on these shows.
But Dave, on that note, about the first-time home buyer seminars you used to do, it's not like you did one once and then you 5 years later you hadn't done it again. I mean, like the information that we provide the public needs to be put out there on an absolute regular basis. It's just the turnover in the consumer is constant in our industry. So there's always opportunity to provide that value.
Plus the fact that most agents, the largest majority aren't doing any of it. So
yeah.
And let's not forget about that third part of the strategy, which is the repurposing, right? So you can take that content and you can repurpose it and you can talk about that same stuff, but you can also, if you have a really good live stream that answered a whole lot of questions, you can always refer that back to people by posting it on your website and having a short URL, right? And then even like real estate is a local business, right? You can talk to a worldwide audience and you can even get some business from worldwide customers. But once you're done with a Facebook live video, you have the ability to then run an ad to it. So you can then boost that content as long as you're doing it from a page, not a personal profile. Yep. And you can target that local business. And local for live, people think it doesn't work. It works incredibly well. It's one of the best uses for live video.
Yeah, and on that note, I mean, you think about having that information, Lori, like you just said, for a live audience. You say, okay, here's the 5 things you need to know as a first-time home buyer when purchasing a home in Langley, BC. You put that out there. You do a 45-minute, hour-long show talking about that, and you have 20 people watching the broadcast. You know, someone who isn't interested in being a first-time home buyer isn't watching that broadcast. Right. You know, and so having that number of eyeballs on you locally will change your business. You know, I think in this industry, especially when I'm out talking about video, I think there's this desire to have this sort of viral video, and I say that's meaningless. It's not, if you get 200 or 300 views on your new listing video, that's 200 or 300 potential purchasers that basically took a first viewing of your property. Those numbers are staggering, and I think we get caught up with, you know, 1 million YouTube views and our direction or the way that we gauge success is misplaced. If you could sit down with 20 first-time home buyers in a coffee shop and get to know them, you know, every hour throughout the day, it would be a fantastic day of business. So yeah. I think sometimes we're looking at the wrong metrics for that anyway.
Thank you for saying that, because that's a message I harp on all the time. We are so caught up in numbers online and it doesn't matter. Like, I had a viral video. I wish I didn't have that viral video because they weren't the right audience for me. They just wasted my time, right? Yeah. Like, you are focused on your business and growing your brand, then you do not want to waste your time with people who are not interested in your business, buying from you. So why focus on numbers? You need to focus on having the right people. So you said it well. Thank you for bringing that up. It's such an important topic.
Well, you know, and Dave and I have noticed that the success, and I'll pull on Dave too as well, is, you know, we've been doing this show 113 episodes. We know people are watching. We see the numbers that we have. We know the guests. And then you go to R4. And then and people are like, hey Dave. I mean, that is something that no other thing that we could have done. Dave, now you're on camera. You can't see the screen, right? Like that. It happens all the time, and that's when you know something's working.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, how many people want to take pictures with you at R4 now, Dave?
Yeah, I'm famous, right?
It's nice.
Well, we'll see this time.
It's nice. Yeah, you missed last year. So, Luria, I do want to talk about live streaming pros and what you do. Not only, you know, go and look at their content, but you guys offer a bunch of different training. And I'm not going to tell you how to do your business, right or wrong, but I will tell you this: you are not charging enough, in my opinion, for your courses, because the content's phenomenal. For anyone that wants to take their live streaming like I did, and I've been live streaming for 3 years, and I started taking some of your training, I'm like, wow, this is exactly what I need, because take this aspect of it, Dave, and you know how you run your business. An agent's worth X amount of dollars an hour. And if you're going to spend twice or 3 or 4 times more time learning how to live stream properly on your own by looking at YouTube videos, you might as well have hired an expert anyway to have taught you how to do it, so that you can get back to doing what you do, and that's building your brand and building your audience as an agent. You're not supposed to know how to do this tech stuff. I love this tech stuff. I actually love when it comes difficult. I love trying to find the problem. But I turn to the training from these guys, and will continue to take training from these guys for the next 6 months until we get this show where we want it to be. So you have primarily 2 courses that you offer, and then a lot of training. I want to turn that to you. Start My course, which will show you sort of the right foundation for a live show, and then Grow My show. So talk about live streaming pros, what you guys offers, and the opportunity for an agent to come to you and start to really implement this in a way that they couldn't do themselves.
Yeah, so thank you for that, by the way. We do have, I can't do anything without going over 100% on it. So yes, our courses are very detailed, packed with a lot of information, and I know we don't charge enough for them, but it's so our philosophy is we have the 2 courses. You can get a bundle. The Start My Show course and the Grow My Show course walk you through every step of the process, from strategy to baseline, foundation, fundamentals, you know, all of that stuff. So it's a step-by-step guide through everything you need to know and how to put it all together, and then grow your audience and monetize your show. And then the reason that we offer it for a lower price is because we also have one-on-one coaching, right? So if we want to make sure that everybody has access to the information, but if you are interested in actually, personalizing it, making sure that it's kind of really targeted into what you're trying to accomplish, that's where our one-on-one coaching comes in. And then we also have done for you services where we come out to you and set you up with everything, train you on site. So, we have it at whatever level you want to take advantage of our services, so that you can get your live streaming going the way you need to, right? So whatever you need, we have, but those are our kind of 3 baseline products.
So the first product is what now? So everybody can write this down.
Those are Start My Show course and grow.
Startmyshow.com. Is that?
No.
It's livestreamingpros.com/Start My Show.
Okay, Start My Show. And then the second one is?
The second is our one-on-one coaching, which is at livestreamingpros.com/contact.
And then you'll come visit us, the third one.
And then the third one is, we'll come to you and get you set up properly, so that you don't have to deal with issues. And that is a coaching, that is like the one-on-one individual. So we don't have a webpage for that, but you can email us at support@livestreamingpros.com.
And when we say those 2 courses that you guys offer, Start My Show or Grow My Show, and I would tell anyone, if anyone's still watching this show at this time you know live streaming might be an opportunity, take their training and do those 2, and then if you're still a selfie person or second level, you'll sort of build onto it, and then you'll start to do one-on-one training. I'm going to try to convince them to do my one-on-one training when I'm going to drive down to a coffee shop and see them, and so I can just hand you my computer and say, make this work. I think it's important that we do tell people they can go check it out. But for the first 2 courses that are so packed with value in them, what are you charging per course?
They're only $97 per course, or for the bundle, it's $147. So.
$70 a course if you buy both of them together. It's ridiculous, and the content is absolutely phenomenal. Dave and I have never taken anything for it. When I've taken training through Live Streaming Pros, I have paid, and I want people to know that. I have gotten enough one-on-one help from you guys that wasn't paid for. You guys have been awesome to me, so I do want to be honest with that. But the training is phenomenal. I encourage you guys all to take it, because I do believe that if I were to decide to take a look at the industries out there at large, that live streaming could really help them. It's hard-pressed to find something that might be more suiting, and maybe, Luria, this is a good question. Where have industries found the most success with live streaming? Is there any particular one industry that you think that there's a bigger opportunity than another one?
No, I mean, I think if you're a spy, you shouldn't get into live streaming.
Okay, good advice.
Spy, government spy. But no, I don't think there's one industry that really is better than another industry. I think they all have their own nuances and their own, highlights, if you will. Certainly the marketing space, the marketers out there have taken advantage of it and are doing phenomenally with it. Real estate is, to be honest, I'm not just saying that because I'm on this show, but real estate is actually one that gets me pumped because of the amount of potential that exists there. So
every single person out there is a potential client of our business. You can't say that about a lot of industries.
Yeah.
So it's phenomenal. It's wide open, and you could come into this business with a high school education and make a tremendous amount of money.
And by the way, Michael, we went through all of that, and I just want to make sure that people know on the completely free side, we have a quiz that if you're not sure about live streaming at all. You mentioned this earlier, but if you're not sure where you fall in or what you should do or how you should go about it, like that quiz is really useful for a little bit of education as well as targeting a little bit towards what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and let me talk about your live quiz because as a guy that is fascinated by what other people are doing, and then I take the best of what other people are doing, or I try to.
It's good.
When you guys go to livestreaming.com/quiz and take it.
Livestreaming Pros.
Yeah, sorry, livestreamingpros.com/quiz. When you take their quiz, I want you guys all as agents to look and feel at the experience of that 7 to 10 minutes that you spend taking that quiz. Luria, the way that you guys have set that up speaks a lot to who you guys are and how aware you are of experience and brand and engagement and quality, because that onboarding experience to ultimately become a place where people start to get to know, like, and trust you enough to then to go and take your training is an experience that we as all agents can sort of look at and go, this is the first, for a lot of people, I would imagine, Luria, that's their first interaction with you. And that's their first impression. As agents, we have to be aware of when we're putting stuff out there, what that first impression is like, because the quiz, and it's not by accident, can't be, is just a phenomenal experience, Luria. It's phenomenal.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We put a lot of effort into it. We took, months to create that. And I got to give it, experiences is something that we focus heavily on. It kind of comes naturally to us, but I also had a mentor that walked me through Disney World and kind of the back end of Disney World and how they focus on experience. That's also something that you should look at if you're trying to create an experience for your customers. It's a really important part of the process for sure.
Yeah.
And Michael, before we go, did we answer Judy's question?
Yeah, Judy. Yeah, well, I'll quickly look at the questions again. Judy was asking, and I'll switch to me. I've got the other computer over here. Judy asked, so generally, how do you do it? Stream to all 3 platforms. So we talked about Joycaster. We talked about that. Talked about some other questions. A lot of people appreciating the content, the engagement. More people on Periscope and Twitter than I thought we'd have. So. And then vast majority of people will watch this in a replay format. But before we go, Dave, to take your takeaway, I want to give everyone my takeaway of this, and it's something that I am super passionate when I talk about. That is, go back to the beginning of this show and look how clunky it is, and how for a moment it makes you feel exposed. And I put a lot of pressure on myself, especially on this show, because of the generosity that all of our guests have given us for the last 3.5 years. Come on and give me an hour at a time, and I want to make sure that they come off looking good. But Dave and I were sort of someone said, Kevin Northrop, I think was his name, said, you guys need a TV show. And I said, Dave, let's do it. And we were on the air a week later. We hadn't even met each other yet. I am okay with trying something, to seeing the results, than to taking that information and getting better at that. And when Jesse and I go around to video boot camps, or when Dave and I are talking to people about stuff on this show, I think we get in our own heads. Our fear of failure, especially publicly failing, keeps us from doing stuff. And not only did we fail at the beginning of the show, and I'll quite honestly tell you that, and our audio right now is being brought through a microphone through the computer, and the audio isn't great. But I look at the comments from people that are fans of the show and who are friends of us, and the comments are nothing but super supportive and of thanks. And I think I'm not dead. I didn't die because the show didn't go well. And the only reason why when we come back in January, the show will be better, and then by next summer it'll be amazing, and then we'll continue to push forward, is because I'm willing to sort of lay out, and Dave too as well, lay out of our comfort zone. And whatever it is in your business, Dave, whether it's video or CMAs or evaluations, this world is moving so fast and it's changing so quick that those that are comfortable or get comfortable being out of their comfort zone will continue to win. Those that aren't, it goes back, I asked Gary Vee a question, and we played the video on the show before. I asked him what the extinction of the real estate agent would be, and he said that the real estate agent won't go extinct, but the agent that fails to adapt to the change that's happening in our world will be will go extinct at the hands of the agent that's willing to move forward. And live streaming might not be for all of you. It might not be for all of you, but those that it are for, please lean forward out of your comfort zone. The same way I have constantly in front of all of you guys for the last 3.5 years as we continue to try to improve the show and do different things and video boot camp and all this other stuff, Dave. So that's my takeaway. I just wanted you to know, to go back and look at the beginning of the show and to know that because of this, that I will bury my head, work a little bit harder to make sure that when we come back in January, our show is better. And we should be doing that in all aspects of our business. And I don't want to get too Dave, I'm putting you on the screen. I know you can't tell because we haven't worked that out. But you know, that's a lesson that I think we all need to embrace.
Well, my takeaway is what I already said, that, you know, the know, like, and trust of video is now taken in. We're introducing a whole nother level here, even though live streaming is not new.
Yeah.
That didn't develop that know, like, and trust. Live video is like another level to do it, short of standing in front of them and meeting.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you said, and I've said probably 100 times already on this show in 114 shows.
Thank you for your voice.
Out there that want to stay in business. They want to stay in business going forward, the younger people especially, 10, 15 years from now. They want to be in this business, have a life for themselves. They better start adapting some of these things because, like, just in the short period of time that we've been on the air, the business is changing so rapidly, and it's changing faster every day. Every day it goes faster. And now what we have with this, and I just looked at another app today that took a whole bunch of websites that people search and put it into one website. Now what we have is technology that if you're live streaming or doing anything like that or any kind of video, it now breaks it all together in one spot where everybody's going to look at it all at once. So it's, to me, I don't know, what's next? What's next?
And yeah, I agree, Luria. I'll throw it to you for any
impressed by it.
Any final thoughts, Luria? Any messages that you wanna give our audience before we say our thanks and our goodbyes?
I mean, I think we've said a lot, but I would just encourage you to just start. That's the biggest hurdle for people. You both kind of said it, but, you know, just get started with something. At least get your feet wet, get going, get over the fear if you're encountering some fear of hitting that live button. Things go wrong, things happen, but it is intoxicating. And it's good for business. So
I agree. Dave, I'm going to switch the camera to you right now because I don't want you to have a sneak peek what I'm about to show you. But we are broadcasting right now, Friday evening. It's now 8:30 East Coast time. It's 5:30 my time on a Friday, and we normally broadcast at 10 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock. And at that time, I have two special guests with me right now that have never been on the show in 114 episodes. So I'm going to put the camera on me. And my boys are making their first appearance on the show. This one is Keaton. This is my young boy. And this is Carter. Say hi.
Hi.
And so this is the first time these boys have been on Mobile Agent TV.
And is on Facebook Live. The thing I'm looking at, they're not. You're blank. You've been blank the whole show.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll see it on Facebook Live right now in a second. There you go. See, there they are. There's my boys there. So
future hockey players. Hey, by the way, did you note that for the first time an NHL goalie was from the United States? Did you note that? And he is from Edison, New Jersey, my hometown.
What do you mean the first time an NHL goalie's from the United States? There's a lot of U.S. goalies. Our goalie, Ryan Miller, is an American goalie, right?
No.
All right. Well.
Calgary Flames. I just saw yesterday.
All right. Say goodbye, boys.
Bye.
Okay, go upstairs and play. So I do want to say a huge thank you to Luria and also to David Foster and as well as Jason from Switchboard. I think what we'll do is Luria, and I always say this that I feel bad about doing it, and then I do it like every third episode. I put my guests on the boards by asking them publicly while they're on camera. Let's sit. I'm going to sit down with you guys, take some more coaching, some one-on-one training from you guys, get this show where we want to get it to. then produce maybe 5 or 6 of our regular episodes, and then come back and talk about the experience. What do you think about something like that to show the training? Okay.
Of course. And
Okay.
not just because I'm being put on the spot. I would love to like, we can take a look at the progress, and we can gather some questions from the audience and see what they want to hear about next, and talk about that process. Would love to.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Dave, you're gonna have a lot of. I mean, Andrew Hudson, who's a great agent in White Rock, British Columbia, one of the prettiest spots around, just said Miller played for Team USA in 2 Olympics. So I mean,
I just saw something.
Yeah, something. We'll have to research that. I still have Luria on screen. Poor Luria. She's sitting here while we argue about hockey. So Luria, to you and to David and to Jason, thank you so much. I appreciate it very, very much. For the last time, let everyone know where they can go to get in contact with you on Twitter, on Facebook, and to where they can go to get some training.
Livestreamingpros.com, facebook.com/livestreamingpros. Yeah, I would say you start at livestreamingpros.com/quiz.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
just let us know if you have it. Reach out anywhere, but support at livestreamingpros.com if you have any specific questions.
I appreciate.
Okay, I got to clear this up. He's the first New Jersey goalie to play in the NHL.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem so many in New Jersey have, Dave. You assume that if he hasn't been from New Jersey, then the rest of the country hasn't produced a player because New Jersey.
We got a lot of firsts here, buddy.
So Dave, on that note, I wanna you said your takeaway. But this is Mobile Agent TV's last episode of 2016. We're going to take 6 weeks or so off, and then we'll come back in the new year with another great lineup of shows. I encourage you guys all to go to the Good, Bad, Ugly webinar that Valerie does. It is the best real estate webinar every single year. It's phenomenal, as well as boot camps in Seattle, Ottawa, and Toronto coming up. For more information, when those tickets go on sale, it'll be on videobootcamp.ca, and you guys can go sign up for those. Those seats are limited, and that's another great adventure that Jesse and I have been on. So, David, once again, I want to thank you very much for this amazing adventure of live streaming videos for the last 3.5 years, and continued adventure, obviously based on today's show about where it goes from here. We've gone well over, but Dave, I do want to express how much I love doing this with you, and wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. And it's phenomenal. So
thanks, Laurie. Great. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for having me. I love talking about this stuff. I could talk about it for days on end, but I appreciate the opportunity to talk about real estate specifically because it's a passion.
Awesome. Thank you, Luria. I very much once again say thank you to David when he gets back from New York, and Dave Falkware, thank you so much. You're a good man. Thank you, our audience, for watching, for participating, for digging in. I'm going to take everything that went wrong today and learn from it and make it better, as all I encourage you guys all to do too as well. Thank you, everyone that supports the show, that watches the show, that gives us feedback. It's been an amazing adventure. We wouldn't do it without you. And as Melanie Gallia of Remax Fort Murray wants us to end every show, please tell 5 other agents about Mobile Agent TV. We grow each week. Our audience grows each week. It allows us to reach out to amazing experts in their field, like Luria Petrucci. I think I did okay on that name. And that will give us an hour and a half of her time. That will help us all improve our businesses, which is invaluable, and we really appreciate it. So, Luria, one more time, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And everyone, have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, be safe, have time with friends and family, unwind, get ready for an amazing 2017, and for many of us, a live streaming video will be a part of that. So thank you guys all for watching. We'll talk to you next year. Thank you, everyone. And then we will, they can still hear us and broadcast. We did it!
Good job!
It didn't complete.